Topic 1. The day everything changed. The story begins by introducing a woman full of life. She was 37 years old and was known for two things: laugh loudly and hug tightly. Anyone who saw Leah always thought she had sunshine inside her, even on the cloudiest days. She lived in a small apartment, but it was full of hanging plants that seemed to talk to her, and Leah really did talk to them. Grow up slowly, girls. Haste doesn't go well with beauty. Every morning she would open the window, let the breeze in, and put on music. She would dance alone while making coffee, twirling as if the world were a place meant to be light. But Leah also had a very important habit. Every beginning of the month, without fail, she would set aside a few minutes just to take care of herself. It was her pampering moment, as she liked to call it. She would sit on the bed, take a deep breath, and perform a breast self-exam. No fear, no taboos, just care. She would say, "Those who love care, and I love myself," until, in that particular month, something was different. Leah began the self-examination as usual. Warm hands, gentle movements, light thoughts. But then, suddenly, she stopped. Her finger touched something minuscule. It was stiff, very different from the rest of the fabric. It was like finding a small seed hidden in the ground. She frowned. She touched it again. She touched it again. And there it was, a tiny ball, the size of a kernel of corn. Her heart skipped a beat. A chill ran down her spine. Her breath caught in her throat. Was this already here? Could it be something serious? Or just nonsense? But the more she touched it, the more certain she became that it hadn't been there before. Leah sat on the edge of the bed. She stared at the floor. The morning sun streamed in through the window, but she didn't even notice. Right there at that moment, two forces were battling within her. Fear. What if it's something bad? Courage. I need to know. I deserve to know. She remembers an old phrase her mother used to say when she was a child and afraid of the dark. Turning on the light is always scarier for a second, but then you can see everything better. That was the trigger. Leah stood up, ran her hand through her hair, took a deep breath, and said, "Okay, I'll turn on that light." He decided to schedule an appointment for the next day. No waiting, no excuses, no putting it off. The day goes by, but Leah can't get it out of her head. She tries to distract herself. She waters the plants, throws too much water, almost drowns one of them. She laughs nervously. Talk to your nephew via video call. The little one loved telling you that he'd lost another tooth. Auntie Leah, look, I've lost my teeth. How beautiful, my love. Are you okay, Aunt? You seem a little strange. This innocent question hits Leah like an arrow in a good way. Children have a radar for emotions. She hesitates, runs her hand over her face, but smiles. "Yes, my angel, I'm just thinking a little about life." And the boy replies, "Don't think about it too much. Your head gets tired." Leah This phrase acts as a bomb. Night falls. Leah lies down, but sleep doesn't come. She turns to one side, then to the other, hugging the pillow. The mind thinks about 1,000 things. The heart beats a little faster. It's the kind of night that seems to never end. Then, in the silence, Leah decides, "I'm going to face it. No matter what it is." She picks up a notebook and writes a sentence on the first page. "If tomorrow is the beginning of a battle, so today is the beginning of my courage." And with that, finally, he falls asleep. The next day, Leah arrives at the doctor's office. The waiting room smells of alcohol, has light-colored walls and old magazines. She clutches her bag tightly, glances at the clock, then at the door, then at the floor. His name is called. The doctor, Dr. Renato, speaks gently. "What brought you here today, Leah?" She takes a deep breath. "I felt something. I felt it had to come." He smiles in a welcoming gesture. "You did the right thing that day, Leah didn't know, but that simple touch of affection on one's own body, it would be the biggest turning point of his life. A journey that scares, but doesn't bring you down. After the initial consultation, Leah left the office with mixed feelings, relief at having sought help, and fear of what might come next. But she was certain of one thing: I'm not going to run away. In the following days, Leah underwent a series of tests. Mammography, the machine looked big, cold, and a little scary. But the coach, a woman named Sonia, smiled with her eyes. Don't worry, Leah. I'm here to help children understand. Mammography is explained like this. It was as if the machine were a giant sticker album of the body, and she just wanted to take some special photos of Leah's mom. Leah takes a deep breath, follows the instructions, feels a slight discomfort but nothing unbearable. Ultrasound. The room was darker, the gel was cold, and the sound of the device resembled a gentle rain. Your body makes sounds, Leah, and we're listening to them now, says the doctor. She stares at the gray screen, full of shadows that look like clouds on a stormy day. The doctor becomes serious. She understands. My heart aches a little more. The biopsy. When the doctor recommends the biopsy, Leah feels a chill in her stomach. It's just to make sure of what we're seeing, he says calmly. A biopsy is how to take a small sample of soil from the garden to study and discover what kind of seed is growing there. Leah squeezes a nurse's hand during the procedure. The nurse says, "We'll take care of you. If these stories touched you, leave your comment, like, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos. The wait time that doesn't pass. If there's one thing that's difficult, it's waiting for results. The days seem longer, the nights are longer. Leah tries to continue her routine. Dents less water the plants slowly. He drinks his coffee while staring into space. Smile more to mask your worry. A memorable scene. She looks in the mirror and asks herself, what if my life changes? And the reflection responds, as if courage were already there. Then you change along with it. A strong emotional hook. The result, the news that shakes the soul. The day of return arrives. Leah sits down again in the waiting room. My hands are sweating. The heart looks like a drum. Dr. Renato enters, holds the envelope, looks at her seriously and at the same time with compassion. Then, in a firm and careful voice, he says, Leah, we found breast cancer. The phrase seems to linger in the air. She feels the ground receding beneath her. The sound in the room disappears. The world slows down. The doctor continues calmly. It's treatable. You came early. You did exactly what you needed to do. We have a way. It's difficult, but it's not impossible. Leah breathes, but feels the air trembling. A tear escapes. Not weakness, impact. The meeting with Donna Marta, the first light in the storm in the oncologist's waiting room. Leah meets Donna Marta, a short lady with a wide smile and bald patches due to chemotherapy. She was reading a book of poetry, and it seemed peaceful. Curious, Leah asks, how can you smile like that? Donna Marta slowly closes the book, looks into her eyes and says, my daughter, when life gave me cancer, it thought it would bring me down. But I told him, I'm the one in charge of myself. That phrase pierced Leah's heart like a ray of light. Donna Marta continues, will it hurt? Yes. Will it be scary? Yes. But you're going to discover a strength you didn't even know you had. And when all this is over, you will be reborn. Leah smiled for the first time that day. The plan, the war for good, begins with the oncologist. The plan is drawn up. Chemotherapy, surgery, radiotherapy. If necessary, constant monitoring. Leah listens attentively to everything. Sometimes she breathes fast. Sometimes she holds back tears. The doctor, Dr. Helena, notices and places her hand on top of hers. Leah, you are not alone. We will walk this path with you. It's as if each word were an anchor. Dramatic hook closure as she leaves the doctor's office. Leah looks up at the sky. The clouds look heavy, but there's a tiny patch of blue trying to peek through. It was official. The battle had begun. And Leah, even though she was afraid, decided to fight. Because courage isn't about being strong all the time. It's about not giving up. Even when the world shakes you, between gray days and colorful days after the diagnosis, Leah knew that the next chapter of her life would be intense. But what she didn't know was that it would also be a chapter full of discoveries, connections, strength, and even unexpected moments of joy. The first chemotherapy, the beginning of the battle, the chemotherapy room wasn't dark, as Leah had imagined. It was bright, with large windows and colorful chairs that seemed to embrace whoever sat in them. Leah squeezed into one of them, looking a little tense. The nurse, Camila, arrived smiling. "Ready to begin, warrior?" Leah swallowed hard. "Ready, I think." The nurse adjusted the drip and carefully inserted the line into Leah's arm, as if she were handling a piece of crystal. The machine started making small sounds, tick, tick, tick. It was like the heart of the treatment beating slowly. Leah closed her eyes. He felt the cold liquid entering his body, and he imagined, "This is my army coming in." Chemotherapy was there to help. She was strong, she was intense, but she was an ally. The first shock when the body asked for a break in the first few hours after treatment, everything seemed normal. But the next day, Leah's body changed. Exhaustion came like a giant wave. She woke up with a strange metallic taste in her mouth. The legs felt like they were made of rubber. She looked in the mirror and said, "Okay, Leah, this is real. Breathe." She tried to dance as she always did, but her body wouldn't keep up. The music was playing, but Leah moved slowly, as if she were underwater. Chemotherapy was like a major cleaning of the body, and after a big cleaning, everything gets a bit messy before it's clean again. Hair loss, a moment that becomes a love ritual days later. Leah begins to notice strands of hair in the brush, then on the pillow, then in the shower. She tries to pretend it's nothing, but the strands of hair begin to fall out like flower petals. It's a tough time. She takes a deep breath, picks up the phone, and calls her nephew. "Honey, your aunt needs your help." The boy arrives excited, without understanding much. Leah picks up a hair clipper and sits on the stool in the living room. "Do you want to be my official barber?" The boy breaks into a huge smile. "Seriously? I've always wanted to use this." They begin cutting. The boy is making faces. Leah They play a hair storm game, throwing strands of hair up like confetti. It was one of the most difficult moments in Leah's life, but also one of the most loving. When she finishes, Leah runs her hand through her hair, which is smooth and new. The nephew looks at her and says, "Auntie, you looked like a superhero." She smiles with tears in her eyes. "Maybe I am." Humor that heals the little lights on the path despite the gray days. Many colorful moments happened. Her friends started sending her funny videos, imitating characters, singing off-key songs, and telling bad jokes just to see her laugh. Leah's sister prepared warm soups that felt like a hug from the inside. And his nephew would show up almost every day with drawings. A drawing of her with a superhero cape, another one of her fighting against green monsters, which were the bad cells. Another one of her with open arms and a rainbow behind her. Leah glued them all to the wall. The room turned into a gallery of courage. The treatment diary, the mirror of the soul to avoid losing herself. Leah started a diary. He wrote in it, what I felt, what he feared, what I learned, and what I wanted to remember after it was all over. A special excerpt. It hurt today, but I'll try again tomorrow. And what if it hurts tomorrow too? I'll try again the next day. She also wrote, I'm discovering that courage isn't about roaring. Sometimes all you need to do is breathe and keep going. This diary became her refuge. The encounter with the hidden force on one of the hardest days. Leah looked in the mirror and saw deep dark circles under her eyes, pale skin, and no hair. But he also saw something else. "I'm still here." She put on red lipstick just to feel alive. And looking at herself, she said, "I didn't lose. I am fighting." The first sign of hope after a few cycles, Leah returns for tests. The doctor smiles and says, "The results show that we are winning." Leah feels her heart bursting with hope. It's her first victory and she's celebrating as if she's won a trophy. There was still a long way to go in the journey. The surgery, the recovery, perhaps more treatments. But at that moment, she knew she was stronger than ever. The narration concludes, "Between gray days and colorful days, Leah discovered that life doesn't need to be perfect to be beautiful. And that, sometimes, strength is born precisely where we think it doesn't exist, the rebirth that nobody expected." After months of intense, exhausting, and yet insightful treatment, the moment arrived for the stage that frightened Leah the most. The surgery. It was like standing before the final door of a long journey, that door you know you need to go through. But your heart insists on saying, "What if?" But Leah had already learned one thing. Fear has a voice. But I'm the one who decides. Surgery. The day the world fell silent, waking up early on the day of surgery felt like waking up to a different day in the world. The air felt colder. The house was too quiet. Even the plants seemed to be watching. Leah slowly got ready, ran her hand through her smooth hair, tucked her diary into her bag, and called a car to take her to the hospital. On the way, she looked out the window and thought, "I fought so hard to get here, and now there's only this one step left." Upon arriving at the hospital, she was greeted by nurses with welcoming smiles. "Dr. Helena, your oncologist holds your hand." "Leah, you've already won so much. Today is just another chapter." Leah thanks him with tears in her eyes. Before being taken to the operating room, Leah receives a surprise. Your nephew comes running down the hallway, carrying a drawing. "Auntie, this is you after the surgery." She opens the paper. It was a drawing of her with a huge heart on her chest and a shining shield. "It's your super shield. It protects you from everything." Leah hugs the boy tightly. "I'll be back, my love. I promise." And then she is taken away. The white lights in the hallway passed slowly, like shooting stars, and Leah passed out, surrendering her body to science and her courage in the face of the impossible, which she transformed into the possible. The awakening, the first royal victory. When Leah's eyes opened, she heard a familiar voice. Dr. Helena smiled beside her. "Leah, everything went well." These words entered her heart like a warm fire, illuminating everything. Leah, still under the effects of the anesthesia, tries to smile. A tear runs down her cheek. Another one is coming, and she understands. She won the biggest battle of her life. Recovery, relearning how to be and exist. The days following the surgery were not easy. There was pain. There were limitations. There were sleepless nights. But there have also been rebirths. The first time in front of the mirror, Leah approaches slowly, with fear, curiosity, and respect for her own body. When he opens his eyes, he sees nothing missing. "See history. I didn't lose anything. I gained a life." She touches the scar carefully. The scar was like a medal, a brand that said, "I faced a monster, and I won." Small, big achievements each day brought something new. To get up on my own, stretch your arm without pain, to laugh for the first time without fear of pulling the seam. Taking a shower without help, walking on the balcony to feel the wind on my face and think, "I'm here." Leah started celebrating everything. Today I managed to comb my eyebrows without making a face. Today I climbed 3 steps without stopping. Small victories in the eyes of others, enormous for her. Reconstruction not of the body, but of life. Leah went through a process of internal and external reconstruction. She spoke with other women who were facing the same path. She made new friends in the hospital waiting room, deep friendships forged from shared courage and tears. She discovered new hobbies. He started painting watercolors. She learned how to make bread. He started listening to old music again. Rediscovered the pleasure of writing poetry. Her diary now contained phrases such as, "I thought I was broken, but it was just changing shape." The final exam, the most anticipated word. Months later, the day of the reassessment arrived. Leah was nervous, but confident. Dr. Renato entered the room with a sheet of paper in his hands and a restrained smile, one of those smiles doctors give when they want to hold back their emotions. "Leah, you show no signs of cancer." Then, a light cry, a loud laugh, a tight hug. Leah feels a relief that seems to fill the room like light. "I achieved. I really did it." The new mission of purpose is born with the end of the illness. Something greater is born. Leah decides that her story won't just stay in her diary. She wants to talk. She wants to support other women. She wants to teach about self-examination. It wants to welcome those who are afraid. Turn your pain into a tool, your trauma on a bridge, his flag-shaped scar. She always says, "If I am alive today, it's because one day I touched my own body with love." The rebirth hides up in the window. The wind comes in, and she dances. A different kind of dance. Slower, more aware, more alive. Leah was reborn. Not like it used to be, but just as I always wanted to be. And in that new beginning, she understood that life isn't about avoiding storms, but about learning to flourish after them. The message that remains Hish says that when it all began, she never imagined that a simple touch, something so quick, so discreet, so silent, could change the entire course of her life. She recounts that the self-examination was not just a gesture of care for her body, but an act of self-love. She recalls that if she had waited another month, perhaps that little pebble would have turned into a mountain that was difficult to climb. If he had ignored the discomfort, perhaps he wouldn't be there to tell his story. What if she had felt ashamed or afraid to seek help? Perhaps she would never have discovered how strong she was. Hizit looks at the children, young people, and adults who are watching and reinforces, self-examination isn't about looking for a problem. It's about ensuring you continue to live your best moments. Reflection on fear, courage, and care. She shares that she was afraid of pain, of change, of uncertainty. But she discovered that courage is not the absence of fear. It's moving forward even while trembling inside. She explains that cancer tried to extinguish her light, but it was precisely the light she carried in her heart that illuminated her path. Her strength didn't come only from medication, doctors, or family. It also came from every time she believed in her own life. Leah's story shows that taking care of yourself is an act of love. Prevention is an act of courage. Self-examination is a life-saving habit. And no one needs to face challenges alone. The seed that history wants to plant finally. Leah opens her hands and imagines she is carrying a small seed. She says that this seed is the seed of care, something that each viewer can plant within themselves. And he leaves an invitation. When you're in the shower, in your room, in the silence, remember me. Remember that a simple touch can change everything. It can protect your future. It can save your life. And you deserve to live every second of it. Self-examination changed the course of my story. And it can change yours too. Finally, she smiles. Not an ordinary smile, but the smile of someone who has overcome, has grown, and now wishes that everyone finds strength even before they need to fight. If these stories touched you, Leave your comment, like, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos.